What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, two-time unified heavyweight world champion, British superstar boxer, Anthony Joshua, will have a showdown in August or September against former cruiserweight, undisputed world champion, undefeated heavyweight turned title contender, Oleksandr Usyk. With that said, Anthony Joshua, he's starting to do press conferences. He's starting to speak up much more, and he has a lot of interesting things to say. Obviously, against his fellow countrymen, two-time heavyweight, undefeated world champion, British superstar boxer, Tyson and Gypsy King Fury, and his rival, which a fight that never materialized, that is a possibility for the future, in Olympic bronze medalist, former WBC American heavyweight world champion, superstar boxer, Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. With that said, Anthony Joshua, when asked about Deontay Wilder, he's on the kick when it comes to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. But this particular, we're talking about Deontay Wilder. He stated that Deontay Wilder power is his only tool. Okay? He says, I've never seen a heavyweight that have success with only one tool in the toolbox. He says, and it shows that when you step up in competition, his power is not that effective. Wow. Now, yesterday he stated that Deontay Wilder folded when he stepped up in level of competition. He says he's not elite. Now he's saying his power is not elite. It's just that whether you can absorb it and avoid it, it shows. He says he could not knock out Tyson Fury. He knocked down Tyson Fury twice, and Tyson Fury admitted that in the second fight. In the first round, he got hit with a right hand, and he says that he thought he was on the verge of being knocked out. But Anthony Joshua was saying he believes that Deontay Wilder's power essentially is overrated as well. He says he has one tool in the toolbox, that's his power, and essentially it won't be effective if we do fight. He says, so should he beat Tyson Fury, if we fight for undisputed, his power won't be effective against me. Wow, that speaks volumes, because Anthony Joshua has been known to be chinny, okay? He's not known to have the most sturdy chin in the heavyweight division or in the sport of boxing, okay? He's actually known to be somewhat chinny. Anthony Joshua is 24 wins, 1 loss, 22 wins by way of knockout, no draws. He himself was knocked out. 31 years of age, stands at 6'6" with an 82-inch arm reach. He'll be taking on Oleksandr Usyk, like I stated, possibly late August, early September. He recently fought against his IBF mandatory challenger in Kubrat Pulev. That was December of 2020, okay? So that's Anthony Joshua. Now, Anthony Joshua, he does have power. But like I said, he's known to be chinny, okay? We've seen Anthony Joshua hurt and rocked in many of his fights. Not always result in defeat, but we've seen him buzzed and hurt and rocked on his feet, okay? In many of his fights. Oddly enough, especially when he steps up in competition, but also when he had fights against lesser competition in Andy Ruiz Jr., who was a massive underdog and one of the biggest upsets in the history of sport of boxing. When Andy Ruiz, he rocked Anthony Joshua, dropping him 4 times and ultimately getting a stoppage victory in the 7th round. Okay, so with that said, you know, Andy Ruiz does have fast hands. He's very accurate with his punches, and he does have somewhat respectable power, okay? Andy Ruiz is not known to be the biggest puncher, but he does have power, but he's known to have very fast hands for his size. He's very quick and put combinations together, okay? So it's accumulation, punches you don't see. With that said, Andy Ruiz is 6'2" with a 74-inch arm reach, okay? Anthony Joshua is 6'6" with an 80-inch arm reach, okay? So Anthony Joshua is a much bigger guy than Andy Ruiz Jr., thus the reason why it was a huge, huge upset, okay? Now, when you're dealing with Deontay Wilder, he has the highest knockout ratio in the history of the sport of boxing. Okay, Deontay Wilder, 42 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. 41 wins coming by way of knockout. He himself was stopped. That was in the second fight with Tyson Fury. The 7th round stoppage, his corner former trainer, threw in the towel. Okay, so he has the highest knockout ratio in the history of sport of boxing, knocking down and knocking out every opponent he's ever faced, including knocking down Tyson Fury twice, and at 93% knockout ratio. Okay, so with that said, Deontay Wilder, 35 years of age, stands at 6'7" with an 83-inch arm reach. So Anthony Joshua has an 82-inch arm reach. Deontay Wilder has an 83-inch arm reach. Okay, Deontay Wilder is not known to be chinny. Okay, even in his fight with Tyson Fury, the first knockdown was a punch behind the head. You can see that. And the second knockdown was a left hook to the body, and he just lost his legs and just fell backwards. Okay, so it wasn't as if he was just getting pummeled, and at one punch and he was falling and looking chinny and things of that nature. No, Tyson Fury was hitting him with big, clean punches. Now, Tyson Fury is a big guy, 6'9", 273 pounds. He came in the fight. He's 32 years of age. Tyson Fury has an enormous arm reach. Okay, Tyson Fury, is younger as well. So, a very, very big guy, Tyson Fury, with an 85-inch arm reach. He's 30 wins, no losses, 1 draw, 21 wins by way of knockout. He's not known to be the biggest puncher in the world, like I said. But Deontay Wilder, even when he fought the likes of Cuban superstar heavyweight title contender in Luis King Kong Ortiz, who is seen as the best pure boxer in the heavyweight division with a lot of power. He was the boogeyman division for quite some time. He only had 2 step-up fights, and then both opportunities was against Deontay Wilder. In the first fight, he badly buzzed Deontay Wilder, but in the 8th round. But Deontay Wilder, he weathered the storm. He never hit the canvas, and he got a 10th round knockout in that fight. Okay, so you don't see Deontay Wilder buzz very often. Okay, Luis Ortiz buzzed him. Tyson Fury buzzed him. Okay, but he didn't hit the canvas. He hit the canvas against Tyson Fury, which again was a knockdown, a punch behind the head. And the fight with Luis Ortiz, the second punch against Tyson Fury was a left hook to the body, and he just fell straight back, okay, like he didn't have no legs. So Luis Ortiz caught him with a short, choppy punch that buzzed him, hurt him. He seemed to be a little bit out on his feet, but he recovered, and he recovered to get a knockout victory. Anthony Joshua, again, the fight with Andy Ruiz is one of the biggest upsets in the history of the sport of boxing, because nobody expected Anthony Joshua to lose that fight, okay? Everybody expected Anthony Joshua to win the fight. Andy Ruiz was not the first option. He wasn't the second option. He wasn't the third option. He was actually the 4th option. The first option was Jarrell Big Baby Miller, okay? That fell through because Jarrell Big Baby Miller, he failed a test. Then his second option was a rematch with Dillian White, in which he was buzzing the fight against Dillian White the first time. But he did get the 7th round knockout victory over Dillian White. But in that fight, he was buzzed badly as well. So that was Dillian White. The third option was Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz chose that and felt he could get more money fighting Deontay Wilder in a rematch, so he didn't take the fight. And the 4th option ended up being Andy Ruiz Jr. Okay, so Andy Ruiz, like I said, it was a huge upset because Andy Ruiz was not viewed as the first, second, or third option. Andy Ruiz, 34 wins, 2 losses, 22 wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, stands at 6'2" with a 74-inch arm reach. Okay, so Anthony Joshua had nearly a 10-inch arm reach advantage and a 4-inch height advantage, if not more. Andy Ruiz, being reported 6'2", I think is generous. He's 6'1" at best. Okay, so he had at least a 4-inch height advantage and a 10-inch arm reach advantage. Okay, and Andy Ruiz, and he's much bigger, okay, much stronger, much better athlete, okay, but Andy Ruiz, better boxer on the inside, caught Anthony Joshua, buzzed Anthony Joshua, dropped him 4 times, and ultimately stopped him in the 7th round. Okay, so if you can look at guys like Andy Ruiz, okay, that buzzed him, you can look at guys like Dillian White that buzzed Anthony Joshua. Kubrat Pulev in his fight, he buzzed Anthony Joshua. Not Kubrat Pulev. Alexander Povetkin, he buzzed Anthony Joshua. Okay, and Anthony Joshua shown not to want to engage after he lost to Andy Ruiz Jr. In the second fight with Andy Ruiz, he utilized the ring, he utilized movement, he avoided exchanges with Andy Ruiz, and the crowd even booed at times. Okay, and then against Kubrat Pulev, he was avoiding exchanges. He was fighting from the outside, using his distance, using his range. Why? because he wanted to avoid getting hit with big punches. So to say that for Anthony Joshua to say that Deontay Wilder's power will not be effective against him. Deontay Wilder is quicker than Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder is rangy, is just as tall. He's taller than Anthony Joshua, 6'7". He has a longer reach at 85 inches. At 83 inches to Anthony Joshua's 82 inches. No, excuse me. Deontay Wilder has 84-inch arm reach. Anthony Joshua has an 83-inch arm reach, okay? So he has a 1-inch arm reach, 1-inch height advantage, but he's quicker. And he's more athletic. Anthony Joshua showed to have fatigue issues. Anthony Joshua can prove to be robotic, and he can prove to be, somewhat of predictable, okay? And he's chinny. So one punch from Deontay Wilder could prove to be the end of the night for Anthony Joshua. So for Anthony Joshua to say his power is overrated and it will be null and void if they fight, I believe that Anthony Joshua may be underestimating Deontay Wilder due to Deontay Wilder's last fight with Tyson Fury. A lot of people, Anthony Joshua lost to a lesser opponent. He was dropped 4 times and stopped in the 7th round. Deontay Wilder was dropped 2 times and stopped in the fight was stopped in the 7th round. So, but he lost to what was considered to be the best heavyweight in the world at one point in time after he beat Vladimir Klitschko, that being Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua, after Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko, Anthony Joshua fought him 2 years later, coming off a loss at 40 years old, and he went tooth and nail with him. And he was dropped multiple times in that fight and badly hurt. So to say that his chin is the most sturdy in the division is an overstatement, and I believe he's overlooking Deontay Wilder. But we got to see how everything plays out July 24th with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury trilogy, and then we'll see what happens moving forward with Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk, and possibly get this fight. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
This is Amanda, the real Dio Serrano, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.